Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, hello, you are audible. That if he is here or not, then we can start, okay?
So, should we start with the today's agenda or should we wait for 2 to 3 minutes? Project happy?
Sorry, did you said something?
Yeah, I was asking, should we wait for some time or just start now?
Yeah, just wait for 2 more minutes. The other mentor is joining in a minute, okay?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, then we can start.
Okay.
Yeah, he is here. We can start now.
So, firstly, hello everyone. So, today what we will do, we will first see what actually we have to do to the IITM milestone 0, that is the setup of Git repository for the project. So, firstly, as let me share my screen first. Mm, I hope my screen is visible now. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Let me show firstly what is the document. If you where is this document you can find, just look at this. Just look at this document from the firstly go to reading document. You will have this in the project structure. In the reading document, you will see Mad1 Mad2 project statement. Go to project document and you see here there is a Git tracker document, and then you will open this. Okay, you can find this document here. So I am just demonstrating what actually you have to do here, like creating the GitHub account and all these things. So I hope creating a GitHub account is not an issue for all of you. The issue comes with setting up this repository and all this is what is readme file and all these things. Okay. So let me first give a short brief of all these things of what is GitHub and all. Okay. So let us first create a GitHub account. Let's say any username. It is also not available. Let's see it. Okay. Let's continue. 890 or 8. Okay. Let's continue with this. Open your Gmail and then verify this account. Just sign in here. Okay, so we have created our GitHub account. This is as simple as given in the document which you can see here. Okay, after the creation of GitHub account, what you have to do, you have to create a repository. Now, what is this repository? What is Git and all? So the thing is, Git is, you can say, a version control system which tracks all the things related to your how are you updating a project when you are working on, when you as a team on projects. So let's say you are doing the backend work and your other person is doing the front end work in your team. So you both needs to collaborate with each other. So collaborating with each other and checking. Let's say you have done some changes in your application now, and you want to check which version. Uh, let's say you have added a new button today in your application. Whatever you are making, you added a new button today, and you want to integrate that button. Let's say you just save this button, and now let's say the button is not working fine, or let's say the button has created some other issues in your application. So what you want to do, you want to go back to the previous state. What we can do in our VS Code, we can just do undo control that if we have not saved our project yet, but we can do control that up to, we can do control that up to a certain limit. But if we are submitting our project on using Git, so we can do our version control system there. By this we can check what version we are. We can go back to our previous application state, or we can go forward to our state if we have some, if we are in the back state. Okay, now git git is the version control system, and GitHub is, you can say, a platform where you can use the Git. Okay, you can use the GitHub platform or GitLab with Git. So what you can use here is just create a repository. Repository means just a project document. So the project document, project folder which you have created in the VS Code, as I can show you here. This is our, I did ls command. Okay, then it is, I created my directory bootcamp demo. Then in this I created a directory mat2. Then this, make the directory backend and frontend. Now my ls-l means list all the files of the directory. So in this I have one folder backend, other folder is frontend. Now if I want to open this folder, let us just open it. Let us just go to bootcamp demo, select mat2 and okay. So this is how our project is now open. In This is how our project is opened here. Clear? Project folder is opened here. Now what we want? We want to set up the Git account there. Okay. So here what to do? First create a Git repository. Git repository is just like, you can say, your project folder. So repository name, let's say I keep mat2 demo, and description you want to write anything you can write. Remember this thing you have to do only private. Okay. And add a readme or not add a readme. If you are going to do it with the command line, that means you are going to push it every time, then it's better to not initialize the readme. Otherwise, you have to pull it in your system also. And if you are going to do it via GUI, that means graphic user interface, that means after completing your project, you are just uploading it on the GitHub. Then it's better to create the readme now. Otherwise, you can ignore creation of the readme. So firstly, let us just create the readme and do what is required for the project as per IITM. And if you want to know some more things like git commands, like git status and all these things, you can get them known. I will let you know. Okay. Now just create this repository, make this private repository, add a readme, and then create the repository. Okay. Any doubts in all this? Okay. If no one has any doubts, so let's continue further. Now I have created our git repository, private repository with the name add to demo. What name you have to keep it here? That is described in the doc. If you just read the doc, now we have to add IITM team as a collaborator. If you are doing the Mat1 or Mat2, then you have to use that ID as a collaborator for this. Okay. Now, how to add the collaborator? Let me show you where is all these things written. Just what all we have done: create the GitHub account, like username and password, then new private repository done, then What you have to keep, just keep any name for your sake of the project. Let's say library management system, or we are making grocery store, we can make grocery store, whatever name you want to keep it private and initialize the readme. They are saying initialize the readme, but you can also ignore that thing if you are doing that via Git. Okay, then this is all done. Now
So as
go
of
to
now, we need
specific.
to mark this README, correct?
Yes. So as of now, if you are, see, the thing is, you can use the GitHub via command line also. That means using the this what we call as just writing commands, and also via using the GUI. UI means graphical user interface, which you are using here, like uploading a project. Let's say I want to add a file, upload new file, and I want to upload my any file here. Let's say I go to system and then I go to this. Okay, I just upload this, so I can upload the files here also, and then commit this. That is what you have to do after doing your project. Okay, after initializing it, add the IATM, go to settings. Okay, and then add here collaborator, add here as a collaborator, and in this add people as what to add as a collaborator. Just see here and see what is there given. For MAD1, type this code, just copy this. Let's say we are doing for MAD2, just copy this and add it as a collaborator. I'm not going to add this, otherwise. Okay, so add this as a collaborator, and then you are done with the project. Okay, that is all what you need to do for the IATM thing for this GitHub. Okay, and they have seen that for those who want only one collaborator, you can choose based on your course. Okay, if you are doing both MAD1 and MAD2, it is not necessary for you to. Just the thing is, if you are doing the MAD1 project, then only add the MAD1 collaborator in the MAD1 repository, and if you are doing the MAD2 project, add the MAD2 collaborator in your MAD2 repository. Clear? This is all what you have to do here. And after doing the project, just go there, go to GitHub. I have not uploaded the files here yet. So just go to here, go to code, and just you can just connect it later. So create new file or you can upload new file. Just click on upload new file, choose a new file and click on commit. And after this, it will ask you initial commit and all. You can just write first initial commit and then just commit. Clear? Let me just upload one file. Let's
We
say
need to make a zip of that folder, correct?
no need for zip. You can even select the folder completely, or you can just select all the files.
Complete folder, no?
Yeah.
Like we used to upload in Mad1 for proceeding for our Viva and all, like that, correct?
Yes. Let me just show you here. Let's say I use bootcamp demo. It is asking for. Now it's better to add the files respectively, not the complete folder. One by one file you can add. Don't add the zip file. Okay. One by one, choose the files and add them here. Let's say I upload the files of the. Yeah, you can see here files. So you can even select all the files and just open. So all the files are getting uploaded here. And the thing is, you need not to upload the node modules and all. You can just ignore those things. That is, you can just create a one file which is .git ignore, that will ignore the files which you are uploading to the GitHub, because you are not going to upload your complete virtual environment or the node modules in the GitHub. So after completion of the project, I will tell you how to push it directly from your project. Let's say we are done with this. Let me go there. It's only this is our macro demo. Okay. Now let me create one more repository. Let's call it. I'm keeping it private. Okay. I'm not initializing the README. Now what we can do is let me just go to VS Code, and I have already installed Git in my system in the project. So let's go to so you see all the files are available here. This main.py which we generally run, and then it also has our applications folder. These are the folders: application folder, instance folder, node modules, public, and then WS virtual environment. So how do we push this? Just, just just use git init in this folder. Okay, git is initialized in this folder now. Now after this, what to do? Click on git remote, right? Git remote add orange. So now copy this link which we have here. Let's say, let me just create this one. Create repo. Create this repo. Now go to HTTPS. Copy this code. Git remote add orange. Paste it here. Okay. Now git is initialized here. Now what we have to do? Check git status. Now you see nothing is added. No, nothing is committed yet. And you can see here untracked file. These all the files are untracked here. That means these are untracked means these are not tracked by our GitHub. Git now, what we can do is we have to just add git. Before git add all, we have to exclude this folder WSLVENV and this folder called, where is that, node modules. Where is node modules? Okay, it is already, I think it is already removed because it already has one git ignore file, right? So that git ignore file is already given. Let me show you what is git ignore. You see, this is the git ignore file. Now it has this folder node modules. That's why it this file is ignored by that git command when we added git init and git. So after doing git init, it is not showing me all these commands. When I said git status, so it was not showing me the node modules folder. Now if I just remove this from here, that means I don't want to track this folder. Control X. Just hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So now we have checked in this in git ignore. Now let us do the same thing again. Git status. Now you see node modules will come here. You see node module folder is now coming here. That means if I do git add all means star, then this folder will be tracked by the git tracker. Clear? So this is what we don't want, because we are not going to track node modules also, not going to track the virtual environment also. So what we do, we add one file which is .gitignore, which is already available here, which is made available by the when you set up the view CLI, so this file is automatically made here. Clear? So we can just add one folder inside it also, including node modules and WSL VENV, which is the virtual environment. So what I do, I just write nano git ignore. Now just write node modules. You see so many files are here which are just ignored. And other file which we want, WSL control X, yes, enter. Now let us do again git status. You see that file which was coming earlier, like WSLVENV and node modules, are not coming in this now. And that is what we want. We are not going to track the virtual environment and not going to track the node modules because those are around 100 to 200 MBs files, folders. Okay, so we are not going to track those things. Now we are right, git add star. As you can see here, it is also telling that these folders are ignored by your git ignore files. Clear? Any doubts in all this? This is, I am just telling extra thing. If you want to use this, you can use this, and every time when you do some changes in your project, just do the git commit. Clear?
I have a small doubt in this.
Yes.
When we are creating this Git repository first time and then using the VS Code, do we need to use some kind of setup inside VS Code, or the commands that you have typed in the terminal, we can do that directly?
See, the thing is, when you do these things in the VS Code, you have to first install the Git. Okay.
In the VS Code itself.
These commands I am doing in the terminal, not in the VS Code first thing. Just the terminal. This terminal can be the Ubuntu terminal also, or the VS Code terminal, whatever it is. Just the terminal we need. Okay, in the terminal itself, in the WSL I have installed the git commands. Git I have already installed my WSL. Now what we are doing is we are just initializing the git here and then committing these things to our remote repository. What I did there, git remote add origin. So after that, I connected my git repository with the folder. Clear?
My doubt was that we don't need, once we open the VS Code, we don't need to install any additional extensions.
Okay, Mohit. So to answer your query, actually, just like if you want to run a Python file, you need to install the Python engine first, right? If you want
Yeah.
to run a Java, you'll have to install the Java engine. Just
Mhm,
like
right.
when you want to use Vue, which is JavaScript, you will have to install the Node JS first.
Mm,
In similar way, when you want to use GitHub, like you want to push files via your command line into GitHub,
right.
you will have to install the Git first. Okay, so if you go to Git download or Git install, if you search, you will get a Git. You will download it, and then you will install it. Then you will be able to run these commands.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was asking.
and I will suggest Pratham to share on installing Git and whatever
Yeah,
you were
all these
doing. There
things.
can be a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can share a video
Yeah.
on that. Okay.
Yeah, I will share the video for those things so that you can prepare for those. But the thing is, what is required for IITM is already done from what is required.
Mhm,
Okay. So these
right.
things, what I'm telling is you can just ignore them. So I've just added these things here. Now I will just git push and push it into my repo git commit. Minus m means a message. Now this is committed here. Now again check git status. You see here on these are the untagged files because these are ignored by git ignore. Okay. And now we can just put git push into our repository. But the thing is, in this WSL, my private personal GitHub repository is connected. So that's why it will not push in this newly created repository. So that's why we have to first add this as a global user and then do the further works. So for those things, you can just ignore for now and just focus on making the project for now. And then later on, when you are done with the project, after doing the project also, we can just do these things, these steps, and then upload it on the git push minus your origin main, and then post it on GitHub, push it on GitHub. That thing you can do after completion of the project. Okay, so after doing the project, we will push it on GitHub on the same repository we will show you. Then you can do that thing also. Clear?
So as of now, what ITM team wants is like we need to create what means account in the
Yeah.
Git, what you have
What
created,
yeah.
and just
What
upload the folder.
IITM wants is yes. Just what they want is you need to just initialize one private repository. That is all. And
Okay.
add this readme as per IITM, and that is all. What you have to do. Clear?
And we have to
These
upload
all
our
things.
folders, correct?
Yes. Later, after doing the project, just
Mhm.
upload your project files in this repository.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So this is the thing which you need to do. Only just add the as a collaborator and just create the private GitHub repository. Any doubts, anyone? What I was telling this, I think you are not understanding it properly. So I will share video regarding this. So you can just learn it from there. Okay.
And this was optional.
This was all. And this will be done after completion of the project only. Okay. Okay. So I think no one has any doubts. So
Yeah,
I think now
you
you
can
can
stop
take on.
sharing.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Pratham,
can you
can you someone is yeah, Mohit, go ahead.
can you just quickly show once again how to connect it with that IITM account that you just told? Just
Go to
uh,
settings
yeah.
So
and there add as collaborator. Add a collaborator and add the IITM ID which is given in the doc. I am sharing the doc with you. I have also shown where you
okay,
can find
so
the doc.
yeah,
Fine, fine.
that's a note. Actually, I will request you, all of you guys, if there are any documents, please read them carefully, and please read them, even if not carefully. Because most of the guys don't read documents and everything, and if you just read the document, they have like mentioned all the basic steps. You can just follow the document, and you will be able to do it. And even after that, if you face any difficulty, then ping us in the chat, WhatsApp chat. Okay. But please do read the documentations, whatever they share or whatever. So in that way, you will be clear with guidelines, rule, and whatever requirements are. Okay. And especially for this term, they are doing like not very big changes, but some minimal but important changes. So please follow their communications like mails and documents, messages in the G space, everything. Okay.
And I
That's
would
a
suggest one
humble
more thing.
request.
Yeah, and I would say one more thing that prior to complete the project in this term only, because from the next term, so many changes are going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So better complete the project as early as possible.
Okay, Pratham, I will ask you to just share me a CRUD of service from that Mad1 project so that I will be converting. Okay, in like in APIs. I don't have that code with me.
Okay, that one. Let
Yeah,
me
just
check again.
if you have that, just share me in the chat. Uh, okay, so I will start sharing my screen.
You are asking for house of services now?
Yeah, yeah, the one we have done in previous term. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, in the meantime, let's create a application folder within the backend folder where we will have our all the stuff applications. So today we will see how we can convert our. So this will be important for guys who have completed Mad one. So like how can we convert our Mad one routes into APIs, and then we will start with our original project, which is grocery.
Sorry to interrupt. Just want to confirm, I have just read down this document what Pratham has shared. So as of now, we need to upload whatever files are there, or just we need to add collaborators. That's it.
Just
Yeah,
you need to add the as a collaborator. No need to upload any files.
Okay, okay. Later on, once we have completed all our project,
Yes,
then we need to upload and commit. Correct?
yes.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Remember the thing is GitHub is a tracker also. So they just want to track you what you are doing or not, whether you are doing the project this time or not.
Okay, okay.
I can't
So
share the
actually,
CRUD of
yeah.
those in chat. I am sending you in Telegram.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen then for a moment. Okay. I think there is a milestone document also. I don't know if you guys know about it. There they have mentioned all the milestone they want to process. Like uh, you
Yes,
guys
that
can
milestone will
follow
be
that
mandatory from
document.
the next term.
Yeah, but
That's why I
that,
said
that milestone zero is mandatory from this term.
yes. Milestone
Not
zero
all
is
the
mandatory from
milestones, but
this.
milestone zero is mandatory from this term. And milestone zero is what Pratham has shown you just now, like setting that GitHub account and adding IITM as collaborator. That's all. My Telegram is loading, loading, loading. Do you guys have any doubt about APIs, or have you guys do you guys have searched what API, what RESTful API, what stateless is after our session yesterday? Anyone have any thoughts on that? Okay, copy.
I think yesterday was in more detail. We got understanding what API and the full the difference.
Okay.
We'll be more once we'll make and all, then we'll
Yeah,
be.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, let me find another way. New document. Okay. My screen is visible, right? Let's create
Yes.
a okay, let's create a API.py file. Now I'm pasting some code from previous term. Okay. So you can assume like this is how your if you like for the guys who have completed Madman, this is how your typical backend route look like, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay. Now we want to convert these route into APIs, and how we do that? So as I have already told you, like there are two things which we will change if we want to convert a endpoint into an API endpoint. Okay, and those things are taking input in JSON format and giving response in JSON format. Okay. Now, so okay, so for Mad1 guys who haven't done Mad1, there is something called request which we export from Flask itself. So if you guys have noticed this, I have imported Flask request from Flask. Now, what is this request? So this request is something. So when a user sent a you like when a user hits the URL, the request is an object from which we get all the details related to that request. Okay, so you can say request is an object. So if okay, so once we will start writing APIs, I will once print the request thing itself, and then I will show like what all the details this request object contains. Okay. Now, so this if you see here, we use request dot method. So this is not something new. If you are wondering, we have already used it yesterday. Here request dot method, and so with request dot method, we are accessing the method of the request, and then we were comparing it with the post. So request is something which contains all the info related to that request. Okay. So if we have any files, if we have any data, all those things we will access from the request object. Okay. Okay, so okay, I will just explain this endpoint uh, just for general purpose because we have Mad1 audience also. So this thing should be clear. We have covered this yesterday because we have created a route. So this is a app instance. So if I go here, we have created the app instance with the and so we have the variable of the name as app. You can call it whatever you want. Okay, you can say your name. So let's say my name. I can write my name as Aditya, and then I can write here as Aditya, and here also like I'll have to run Aditya. I'll have to run myself. Okay. So you can. So this is just a variable. Okay. You can choose whatever you want to name it. Okay. So that's why here we have this HS app, which is an app instance. So don't get confused why we have HS here. Okay. Then we have given the route at admin create service. Then we have given the get and post. Why we have given the post? Because we will be creating a service. And get you use to render the form. So when you work with Mad1, you'll have to render a form to get the details. That's not the case in with that's not the case with APIs. Okay, and we will see that later why. So this is a security thing, which is a session based security. Mat2 guys already know that. I will not cover this. So we will check if the request method is post. Now we are getting the data from the request. But look, but if you see here, we are getting the data from the form object. Why? Because we are sending the data with in form object. So we submit a form in Mad1 and we access the form in the backend. And how we access that form? So this is the request object which contains everything. Then we access the form which was submitted with request. So we write dot form and then we get all the details. But when we write the API, we will get the JSON data. Okay, so let's writing the code. So we can have this same thing here. Let me paste it. We can remove this get because we don't need to render any form or anything. I will remove this security thing also because in Mat2 we will be using security token. And if we have only post request, we don't need to check the request also. Okay, okay. For the moment, let's leave it. Okay. So once we check the method is post, now we want to access the data from the request. How we do that? So I will create a data variable. Then we will write request, which contains all the things related to that request. And then we want to access the JSON data. So we will simply write JSON. Okay. And whatever JSON data you have sent with that request, it will get that data. This is clear, right? Any doubt on this point? So whatever JSON data you will send with your request, you will write request.json in the backend, and you will get the data. Okay. This is clear, right? Just say yes or no.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then suppose we have this name. Now we want to get the name. So we will write name. And now we have assigned this thing to data. So we can just write data dot get and whatever variable name we have sent there. So we can copy this and then we can paste these fields. Let me just quickly do that. Okay, I think there were four. Okay, base price. This is clear, right? Okay, so I will explain this line again. When you when you write request.json, it assigns that JSON data to this data variable. Again, you can have this like you can write it request data. So it's just a variable name. You can write whatever you want to write. Okay. So don't get confused with variable names. Now, what this data is? This data is actually a dictionary because JSON is pretty much a dictionary. Okay, where you have key and values. Okay, and how we access a key from a dictionary? We use get. We can write this also, like this big bracket and the very key name. Okay. So this should be clear. Like this is a Python stuff. So I think this should be clear. Yeah. Okay. So now you can say we have like changed the way to get the data from the request, right? Here we were accessing the data from the form. Here we are accessing data in JSON format. Okay. This is clear, right? Like what the point I have mentioned here, taking input in JSON format. This is clear, right?
Yeah.
Any doubts on that, on this point?
No.
No, right?
Is there any difference in request.getJSON and request.json?
Yeah. So actually, you can. I think I have made a mistake. Yeah, sorry. I think it's get. It should be get JSON. or we can let's just search it. Actually, there are different ways to get the JSON data. How to get JSON data from request? I think when you use get JSON, you will have to write parenthesis here. I think something like
Yes,
that,
correct, correct.
if I remember correctly. But if you write get request.json, it like gets the data. So it's they are like pretty much alternative. Okay. Okay, this is JavaScript code. I'll have to write in Python. Flask. Okay, so you have request.getJSON, and you can write .json also. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So thanks for mentioning that. Like we have covered like that thing also. Okay, so yep, we have received the input. So I don't think we have the output thing here, but let's just complete this. But there is nothing to do, nothing else to do. Okay, let's just complete this for sake of completeness. This is the same operation. I have just copied the code. Okay, this will be nothing different from Mad1. And then again we will return the response in JSON format, and which is a dictionary. And how we will do that? We will write a message, and we will write service created. Yep, service creator is fine. Okay. So this is now converted. This is fully converted in API. Okay, we can write 200 here. So typically it should be 201 because we are creating a new record. But whatever you can write 200 also. Okay.
So there we have used get for getting the form populated there, but there is no use of that.
Here, so you are saying this form, right?
Yes, yes, we have used
Yeah.
in post.
Yeah. So this is the API now. Okay.
Correct,
and
correct.
and how you send data with the API? You said like we will send it in JSON format. So that's why we are getting JSON here. So this form doesn't mean anything. Okay,
Okay.
we are not getting any form thing with the request. Okay. So once we will start writing actual our application API, and when we will test those APIs, then you will get a very clear idea of these things. Okay, but right now I cannot run this code because this is a piece of code. Okay.
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 So
So
one thing, here we have used the post, but I think in yesterday's session we discussed like we need to use different methods like for get, post, put, and fetch. I think we
okay,
are adding the data here, so we need to use put. Not sure on that much.
okay. So I will ask you a question. When you use post method,
Basically, when we want to fill the form and means add in our database.
yep. So you have said that word adding data into database, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
Adding data into database. What we are doing here?
Creating the service.
Okay, creating a service means adding a service data in the database,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And what method we are using?
Post.
Any doubt on this now?
No, no, not like this. Yesterday session we discussed nine like we need to use different methods.
Uh-huh.
Basically, in our Mad one we are using only two methods like
Uh-huh.
get and post, if we are deleting also we were using post. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in Mad two we need to use particularly delete
Actually,
method.
I will come to those points. We have all these
Okay,
functions here. Okay. Okay. So
okay,
just like right now, we are just creating. We have used only create service, right?
okay,
And in create service, we'll have to use post method.
okay, okay.
Okay. And in this, we have completed our this line, which is taking JSON input, right? Okay. Now let's see another one where we will be changing our method. So actually this thing will be covered when we will do get endpoint. Okay. So as he mentioned, we use different methods. Now this is a edit service URL. We are editing, like we are updating the already existing record in database. So here we will use post method, not no, sorry, put method, not post. Okay. Again, remove this thing. Now it's like pretty much same thing. Nothing. Uh, so let me just copy this code from here. Actually, converting your Mad1 endpoints into APIs is a very simple task. Okay. So actually, you don't need to write these lines because this will be by default handled by this URL. So let's just remove this line. You no need to check the method of the request because you have only allowed only single method, that is put. So this function will be only accessed when the method is put and the URL is this. Okay. Let me correct the indentation. Let's remove this line. And this was the service object. So let's write service start. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And then we can return a response service update. This is clear, right? Here we are updating the service data and we are using put method.
Yes.
Getting data in JSON format, pretty much same thing, right? For Mad1 guys, I think for Mad1 guys, just don't care for these lines as of now. Okay. Once we will start doing our, once we will start building our project, we will cover these things in detail. Okay. These the things we are doing right now. This is important for the people who have completed Mad1 already. Okay. Now we
Uh,
have.
I have a small doubt. Yeah,
Mhm,
this line number 35,
mhm,
service equal to services dot query dot get,
mhm.
I understand, but difference between get or 404.
So actually, you can use get also, but I think that get method is depreciated in SQL Alchemy 2. So the latest version of SQL Alchemy is 2, I guess, and that is depreciated in SQL Alchemy 2. So that's why you use get or 404. So actually, what will happen when you will access this when you will try to access this service ID, if this service ID doesn't exist on the database, you will get not found 404 error. Okay. That's why we have this get underscore or underscore 404. You can use this as get only, but then if you will run it, you will get a message in the terminal that this get method is depreciated. Please use this or something like that. Okay,
Okay, okay.
clear?
Fine. Yeah.
Uh, in return, many times we use JSONify. So is it mandatory?
No, no, it's not mandatory. So okay, so when you write JSONify, you will return data something like you will return data in actually in round basis. Where to write? Okay, let's write here. Return JSONify. Now this will show JSONify. I hope the spelling is correct. Yeah. then you will return data within this, and like you write something like this. Okay, here we are returning in the JSON format. You can see the curly braces. This is a dictionary format.
Okay.
Okay, okay, let's search it also. So returning data in with JSONify. Okay, it's not a good example. Let's see here. Okay, here. So here you can see it's returning a dictionary, but it's writing in the JSONify function. So I will mention this thing also. So it is possible that when you, I don't think you will face any issues while returning this as it is. But if you face
Right.
any error, you can just copy this and paste it here within JSONify.
Because both are dictionary only, no? So
Yeah. But JSONify is not limited to this actually. Right now here it is a dictionary, but it's not limited to that. I have seen some examples. Right now it's not here. Yep. Okay, but once we will write our APIs, we will explore all the things. Okay, so don't worry
sure,
about
sure.
it. Okay, so this is done. We have so this was just a use of put method. Now and and yeah, it's converted into API. So this is a API now. Okay, you are getting data in JSON format. You are you are using put method, and you are returning response in JSON format. This is a API now. Now this is a delete service, so you should use delete method. Let me remove these things, and I think then it's pretty much same. We can copy this line here, and we can just change the message. Okay, we can remove. Okay, now this is a API. This is also a API. Fine. Any doubt on this? You are clear with the changes which I am making here, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes. Okay. Now, how we return a response is actually we have already seen that, but how we actually return a SQL Alchemy object in the response. Okay, so I don't think he has shared that, but let's write a route by ourselves. So let me just copy this line. Why we have to create service? Okay, one is API and one is non. So now we will write get here, or you can simply remove this line. So I will just write it here also. This is for mad one guys. Uh, this is equivalent to if we remove this from here. So these both are same thing. By default, you have get method on the URL. Okay. We will change the function name to services. Now let's do a query. services query dot all. Okay, now you get a list of service. Now you get a list of services. Okay, and that service is object of SQL Alchemy. Okay, how we return that response? We'll have to convert it into JSON format, which is a dictionary. So how we do that? We will write a we will create a empty list. So let me write service JSON. Okay. Then we will run a for loop because we'll have to convert every SQL Alchemy object into dictionary format. How we will do that? We will run a for loop for service in services. Now we will create a dictionary and we can write here. So name, and the name will be service dot name. Okay. Price, price, time. I'm not writing the exact variable name because we are just doing this as an example. So time. Yep, I think yeah, you can have that description and other thing also. But this is how you will. Now you have. Okay, let me write uh, service text, a temporary variable, and we will add this into this list service JSON dot append service text. This is fine, right? Any doubt on these 3-4 lines, whatever I have written here? Like Mad one guys would be confused like what I'm writing here, this service dot query, that all stuff. But Mad two guys, any doubt on this point?
No.
Okay, right. And now we can just simply use the return statement, and we can return this service JSON simply. You can say 200 here. Now it's a. Now we have covered. Where is that point? This point, giving response in JSON format. You are also giving response in JSON format here, but here we are actually returning some data from the database. Okay. Any doubt? So, any doubt on this point? Anything? Okay. So actually, right now we are doing this for services for service in services. We are creating dictionary. We are appending it to a list. But there are like multiple ways to do it. Okay, multiple ways to convert the object into alchemy or alchemy object into a dictionary, data dictionary, and then we can return that. Like if I mention, if you guys have heard it, we can define a uh, function within our database, and then we can call that function by writing like service dot that function name. Okay, and we will get this dictionary. Okay, that's one way. We can use Marshall, which comes from Flask RESTful. We can use Marshall with, which also comes from Flask RESTful. But all in all those cases, we'll have to define a dictionary format with different field names and how we access those field names. Okay, I'm just giving you for sake of a heads up, so you guys like some of you guys should like have known about Marshall and Marshall with. Now you wonder like why I'm writing in this way, I'm not using master service. So once we will start writing, I will use all of them to just give you an example. Like we can use a bunch of different things to do the same operation. Okay, so don't worry about those things as of now. So I have, I think, pretty much converted a whole CRUD for a resource from a normal endpoint to a API, and I think this should be fine, right? This is clear, right? Till now, all the get, delete, post, put,
Yes.
and basically this should be clear, like taking response in JSON and giving response in JSON.
So
Now,
last one is basically fetching all the services which are stored in our database and converting to that JSON and showing in our view. Correct?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is the flow, right?
Yeah, that's the flow.
Okay.
Okay. So right now we have only converted it into this route-based APIs, traditional way to write APIs. Okay. Now let's take a quick example of writing class-based APIs for the same thing. So let's say class service API, and actually let's import some things, because end of the day we will be removing this code and we will start writing our APIs. So let's write from class import what was a request. Okay. From class import request, and then from class RESTful import resource, and yeah, resource is fine. So how you get Flask RESTful? You write this is okay. How can I make it visible? Okay, let me write a clear restriction. Yep. So pip install Flask RESTful. This is how you will install Flask RESTful. Okay. And this is what something we will use within our class when we define a class resource. So it's similar to registering your API. Okay, and within this, I have already explained, you can have a function with the method names. Okay, so we can have a get. I will write self, and this is something which is standard syntax of class, like oops of Python. Okay, so you write self when you define a method within a class. This has nothing to do with application development. This is a standard syntax of Python itself. And okay, so then we can just simply copy this and paste it here. Okay, this is done. Now this is our get API. And how you will fetch, with which route you will fetch this, I will show you in a moment. Let's just complete all the operation related to different methods. So def post, and then again the same thing. Let me copy this also. Def put self, and we are getting a service id here. So actually we will add this service id in this also. It's a parameter of the function, just like we were doing here here we are also adding this service id within the functions parameter. Okay, and then we got the delete one. Where is it? Okay, okay, let's copy the whole thing. And we can just write here delete. Okay, you can say we have created our class, we have all our operations attached with method like with their appropriate methods, and how we define route. So actually this is something we, so first we make a API instance. So just like app, we make a API instance. So we call it API, and we write API. This is something which comes from RESTful itself. And here, so just take a good look on this. And within this, we add our resources. And what is our resource? This is our resource. Okay, this service API is our resource. And how we add this? We write API dot add resource, and we put it here. So what was it? Service API. Then we put comma, and now here we define our route. Okay, whatever route we want to. So we write slash API slash, it's a service. Now how this will work? Now you don't need to write here create service and update service, delete service, all those stuff. Okay, so when you write slash API slash service, now it depends on you how you are requesting this API, and with that with it, like in response to that, it will process the appropriate method. Like this is get, this is post. How you will access this API? When I say how you will, means with which method you are accessing this URL. So if you access this URL with post method, okay, access this URL slash API slash service with post method. So you have defined post method for this resource, which is this. Okay. So if you will access that endpoint slash API slash service with post method, this this function will be processed. Okay. Now what if you call the same route with get method? Then this will be processed. Okay, this get thing. So this is clear, right? And any doubt on this? Get post calling the same URL with different methods. Now, if I say you access this URL with put method, so anyone have any idea what will happen? Anything comes in your mind? What will happen? If you call this API with put method or delete method, what will happen? Okay, no answers. So one thing comes to your mind, like it will come to put method, and it will try to process it. But if you look carefully, there is a parameter with this function. Okay, so it needs service ID in order to process the request, and you are not giving service ID here.
I think method not defined, something like that.
Yeah, it will say method not defined. So now you will have to define another route for this resource. So you can put a comma, you can copy the same thing here, and you can just extend it by writing integer and service id. Whatever variable name is here, we'll have to write the same variable name here. Okay, and now this is fine. Now when you will access this URL with delete method or put method, appropriate functions will be processed. Okay, so if you calling this method with put, this will be processed, and if you calling this with delete, this will be processed. Okay, what if you call this with get? It will not be processed. Okay, it will say uh, received one parameter when 0 is defined. Okay, something like that. You will get something like that. Okay, now if you see, this looks very much clean. We have modularity here. We have all the we have like we have reduced the redundancy of writing different URLs. Okay, we only have two URL, one for get post and one for delete put. Okay, but here if you see what we have create service. We have written explicitly create service, edit service, delete service. Okay, so let me just zoom out a bit. Yeah. Okay, so this is the complete thing. Okay, here we have defined pretty much a full class based API for a resource. And what is that resource? This is service. So we have defined a full API for a resource. Like when I say full API means all the CRUD things. So create, here you have create, read, update, and delete. Okay, so you can say this is CRUD of service resource. Now, any doubt, anything on this point?
Second, in the second route, like I give the service ID, then how to figure out then it will call the put request or delete request?
So if you will send this, if you will hit this URL with put method, okay,
Okay.
then this will be called. And when you will call this with get delete method, this will be called. Same as this. When you are calling this with get method, this was getting processed, and when you were calling this with post, this was getting processed. Okay. So now I have explained pretty much all the things how you will export your Mad1 endpoints into API, normal route based and class based. Okay. Now, if you guys have any doubt on all of these things, please ask. Otherwise, we will start doing we will start writing code for our official statement, which is grocery, and we will start by writing by creating models for the backend. Okay, so please ask if you have any doubts on this point. Nothing? Okay. Okay, so I should store this code somewhere like uh, okay, let me just create a okay, let me just paste it in this MD file here. Okay, let me remove all these things. Okay, now we are going to create models for our application grocery store. So we will be starting by creating models. Now let me access the uh, problem statement. So project lp dot in. I don't know if it doesn't support a secure connection. Okay.
Just write www.projecthelp.in, it will open.
www project
Dot after www.
lp dot in. Okay, thanks. Mad to where we have our statement. Okay, we have it here. So, do you want me to read through the document? Okay, let me read it. Some of the things. So, it's a multi-user application, and only one admin will be there, and we can have multiple store managers, and then we can obviously have multiple customers. Okay, this is designed to buy groceries. So like this is obvious, like user can buy many products from one or multiple sections, and store manager can add products and request addition of new section categories. When you say request addition of new section categories, means manager will submit a form with a category name or with some details, and admin will take a look of that request, and if it's look okay to admin, he will approve it, and then that will be added to that new category will be added. Okay, so a section category can have a id name, product can have id name, manufacturing, expiry, rate per unit, all those stuff. Every category can have a number of products, means every category can have multiple products. System will automatically show the latest products added. It means showing the data in reverse. So you see the latest added products on top of the page. Okay, terminology. Okay, this is fine, I think. Then, yep, I think we will talk about these things later as we. Okay, so user sign up and login using RBAC, role-based access control. Here we will use our security token to implement these things. Mandatory admin login, yeah, this is fine. Store manager sign up login, fine. Category and product management. Category when it's say category and product management means CRUD of category and CRUD of product. So you can create, update, delete, read category, and you can create, update, delete, read product. Okay, search of category product, fine. Buy product from one or multiple categories, fine. And then we will have, at the end we will have all the export jobs, and backend performance is your Redis caching. So yep. So I think we are going to design our data. Then again, they have like written all those things in detail. So let's start designing our DB. Let me have some water first. Okay, so think we should open it. Yep. Okay, let me zoom it. Okay, this is visible, right? So to create DB tables, we will create a file within this application folder, and the file will be named as models.py. Models.py. Now, models.py is a standard name. You can name whatever you want to name. Okay. You can name DB underscore models or model underscore DB or grocery models or whatever you want to name it. Okay. Now, how we create DB tables in Flask with help of SQL Alchemy ORM. So we will start writing this. Mat 2 guys, you have who has completed Mat 1, they have like pretty much good idea about it. But for those who have not did Mat 1 yet, please focus. Please focus how I'm writing this different things. Okay. For Mat 2 guys, I know it will be boring. So yeah, let's just quickly write all the import stuff. So we import SQL Alchemy instance from SQL Alchemy. So I hope spelling is correct. ALCHMEY import SQL. Alchemy. Yep, this is correct, right? Yeah, correct. And now we will create our DB instance. Again, this is a variable name. You can write it whatever you want to name it. Okay. But I will write DB, and then we will create the instance. And how we create instance? We just do a round page. Okay. Now I think we can. Yeah, let me just show you. So create SQL Alchemy tables in Flask Python. Create table classes. So here you can see how it right. So this is what we have done. We have imported SQL Alchemy instance from Flask SQL Alchemy. Then we'll come to these things where we write configuration and other things. And this is a typical table. This is how a typical table looks like. Okay. So I am showing you all these things to encourage you to explore all the different things which is possible, all the different ways to write the same code, and for you guys not to wonder like I'm writing some alien thing. So this is not an alien thing. This is all available on the internet. You can read docs and blogs to see all those things. Okay, and this is the I think official documentation. Think here they have different method of writing the same thing. Yeah, I think they have pretty much same thing. Yeah, here you can say they are creating the tables in this way. This is in the same way we will write our tables. Okay. So let's come to our problem statement. Where is the requirements? Okay, here we have the requirements. So let's just write all the table names we need to create. So we can have a user table, okay, where we can store all the manager and users. We can hard code our admin. hard code means we can have a manual verification of the admin, like this is admin and this is admin username or email and this is admin password. We don't need to add the admin in the database because we have only single admin. Okay, so let's say it's a user table, and then we have a category. So we will have a category table. Then we have a product. So let's say product table. Product table. Then when the when the user will add different products in his cart, so for that we need a table to store all that cart data. So what we name it, let's say cart table. Okay, let me go to another line. Okay, then okay, what else? Okay, once the user will buy from his cart, we need a table to store all the order data. So we will create an order table. Okay, so we have user table, category table, product table, cart table, order table. Any other table we need? If I'm missing something, please point out. So section, category, same thing. Product, fine. We have cart, we have order, we have table. Okay. Store manager can add product. Okay, we need a table to store the request of store manager. Okay, related to categories. So let's just create a what we say. What should we call this table? Request addition of new section category. Okay, let's say category request table. Okay. Yep, I think we have all the table. I think there was admin approval for the manager also, same like that household project. I don't know if it was okay. Okay, this is for it. Okay, the request should automatically go to admin's dashboard for approval. Okay, so every new store manager sign up should be approved by the admin. So for the students who have completed MAD1 in previous term, they already know about it. And we okay, let's just create a table for that also. I think, or we can have it in the user table. Yeah, it's fine. If we can have that in user table. Okay, so we got all the tables, and now if you say we have three roles and we have a user table, but you can have multiple tables instead of a single user table. Like you can have for users, you can have three different tables. User for user, you can have a manager table. You can have a customer table. You can have a admin table also. Okay. So where if you are building an app where multiple admins are allowed, so you can have an admin table also where you can have multiple admins. Okay. Okay, but uh, so any suggestions on this, like how we should approach, like should we create a single user table or multiple user tables? Do you guys have any choice on this? You guys are not sleeping in the meet, or I have left the meet.
We can create a user table and a role table. Role.
No, we can define a role column in the user table itself. So actually, I prefer not to do complex things because there are people who don't even understand the basic things. So we should try to do the most basic and easy thing is possible. And creating a role table explicitly that complex things. Okay, so you have set to create go with a user table. Okay, so we have the user. Now you can create table, uh, give the table name whatever you want. You can have users or you can have user table. All of them is fine, but I will just write user or let's say users. Okay, and here we pass something, and with that is db dot model. So we extend our table to that db dot model, and now we write different fields. So if you see here, that's this is pretty much same thing. Okay, so I think we can copy this thing from here. We don't have to write it. Or you want me to write like line by line? Okay, let me write line by line. Well, someone say in the group that okay. So you use column. So now we are creating columns in table. So you know what a column means in a table. So we are creating different columns. So we will have a ID column and the type of the column. So we write column curly sorry round braces. Then we write the column data type and we have the ID. So the ID will be integer type and we write integer here. Okay. I hope the spelling. So if I make is any spelling mistakes, please point out. Okay. Now it's showing these yellow lines. Why that? Because we haven't exported column integer strings from SQL Alchemy. We don't need to do that. We can write db dot SQL db dot column db dot integers also. So this is like you can have that here also. So you can write from SQL Alchemy import whatever field you want to import. You can import that integer and string. You can have boolean, then you can have you have the column also, column. Okay, so you can import all those things, but when you import these things you don't need to write db dot. Okay, you can just simply write it. So these are two different ways. You can choose whatever you want to do. So okay, let's see. So we have imported it now, so let's go with that. And then we define a primary. So I so anyone here who haven't done. Okay, so if you have registered for mat2, then you have completed dbms. I'm assuming that, so you already know what a primary key is. Primary key. So this is our
That
primary.
A, E, in place of E, there is A.
Sorry.
In place of E, there is A, primary key.
Oh, okay, thanks. Primary. Yep. You see here there is a line with the user table name, so you can write this line here, and you can give a different table name if you want to do, like if you can have the user name here, but here you can define a different table name also. But it's not a good practice to give a different table name. And even if you don't give this line here, if you don't write this line here, by default the table name will be users, because we have given this here. Okay, so I think we can remove it, or let's just leave it here for this table only. And then we can have email. The email will be string type. Now you see here there is a certain number 50 120. So this is the length of that variable which you will store in this column. Okay, so the data you will be storing in this email column, it's defining a length of that. So you can have the max length of that email. So if I say 120, so your email can have the length of 120 maximum. If you are, if you will try to insert an email which have length 125, it will say like integrity error or something like some database error. I think it will be integrity error. Okay. But if you are inserting a 100 length of email, that would be fine. Okay. So this is the maximum limit of length. Okay. Then we can have a field, we can have an attribute. So what I'm writing after this, these all are attributes. Okay. So you can write a unique equal to true attribute, means you can only store unique emails in this table. Okay, so if you will try to insert two records which have the same email, this will give some error. Again, I think it will be integrity error because you have defined it as unique and you are putting duplicates email. Okay, and then we will get another attribute that will be nullable, and we will make it false. So setting, I'm making too much spelling mistake. False. Okay. So making the labels false means we cannot have this field empty. So if you want to add a record in the table, you will have to give the email. So this is something, if you are filling a form and you have that star sign there, that means it is a mandatory or required field. This is what this nullable equal to false actually replicates to. Okay. So any doubt on this? I think this is like these are the most used attributes. Like this is what we will be using in pretty much all the columns. So any doubt on these fields, unique, true, nullable, false? Anything on this?
So what is the default value of these?
Yeah. So you are trying to mention another attribute, but there will be no default value of this. Okay. So there cannot be a default email. But if you have mentioned the default keyword, let me just write it also. So you have a default attribute also. Okay, and there you can give a default, so let's say example at the rate gmail.com. And now if you are adding a record in this table and you are not passing the email, the default email will be example at the rate email.com. So it will automatically save the email as example at the rate gmail.com. Okay, so that's where you use default field. Clear? We can move ahead, right?
No, I am asking the default value of attributes, default value of unique and nullable if we don't give it.
Okay, so the default will be false.
Nullable is also false.
Yeah, nullable will be, no, nullable will be true. So what we are setting here, that means we are overriding the default things.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not saying I'm 100% sure about like nullable should be false, nullable will be by default true, and unique will be by default false. But I think that's the case. Okay, if I'm remember it correctly. Okay.
Okay.
So we are writing it because we are overriding the default things. So we are writing unique true, means we want it unique to true, not to false. Okay. So why we are writing primary key as true here? Because by default primary key is false for all the column names. Okay.
Okay.
So we can move ahead, right? We can close this. Okay, so let's remove this. But now I will start copy pasting. I won't write every line of the table. Okay, so let's copy this, paste it here. Let's change it to name. We can give a length to okay, I will say 60. Otherwise, you will say I was copying from the document. And we don't want unique names. We can have multiple users with the same name, so we will remove that unique to true. Now you can say, like, when we remove it, the unique to true, it's by default unique to false, right? So unique equal to false, that's by default value. We don't we also want the name, so we will need nullable to false, so the user will give us so we get the name also. We don't need any default values here, so I will remove it. And let's what else we can have for the user. Okay, we can have role. So we can have role, and we can have role as a string, and we this will be pretty much, I think 10 is fine. And we don't want it to be unique. We can have multiple roles. We don't want it to nullable. And I think now here we can give a default value. So uh, again, it doesn't make any sense, because when we will create a user, we will be giving the user role. But let's, for the sake of using the default attribute, let's say customer. Okay, so if we are adding a new user in the database, in the user table, and we are not giving the role with that data, so it will be is stored as customer. Okay. Okay, let's write a line here, so we have uh, the knowledge, like what roles we can save here. So we can save customer, manager, and admin. I don't think, like, saving an admin in the database is anyway makes sense, because we have only one admin. But let's just add it. Otherwise, you will say, like, here it's saying where was it? Yeah, here it says, like, add an admin user whenever a new database is created. Okay. Okay, so what else we can have here? Any? Yeah, yep. We have missed the most important field, that is password. And let me quickly copy this line, paste it here. And password, I think 20 length of password is enough. Yep. And it should not be nullable. So yep. Okay, we have ID, email, password, name, role. Okay, there is another column. We should have it here, and that column should be status. Now, if you wonder why we have this column, status, why we have this column, because we are using our manager request in the same table also. So by default, manager status will be uh, deactive or something like that. Okay, or pending. Okay, so once the admin approves that manager, then the status will be active. Okay, so also you can have a different table itself for the manager request. And manager when someone sign up as a manager, you can store their sign up data in that manager request table. And when the admin approves that, you can then store that data in the user table and delete that data from the manager request table. Okay, so that is also fine, and that's another way to do it. Okay, so okay, let me give the status. Okay, by default the status should be pending. Not pending. It should be uh, active, I say. Yep. And we can have active here, or we can have what we can have pending here. Pending is fine. Okay. Anything else we need in the user table? Uh,
Address,
Sorry.
city address for delivery.
Yeah, I think those are additional fields, but I don't know because we are not deleting like we are not implementing a whole delivery and that kind of like this is not a household service. You can have those additional fields.
In case in the status one, in place of string, can we use the boolean one? And by
Yeah,
default,
yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. You can use Boolean.
once it is approved, then it will be true.
Yeah, you can have a status here. You can by default make it false, and once it's
Mhm.
approved, you can make it true.
Okay.
Okay.
And same with role also.
No, no, no. So with role you have, but if you want to create Boolean columns for role, then you will have to create three different columns. And
Yes,
what
yes.
that columns will be, it will be something like this, like each admin.
I think by creating the two, the third will automatically it will fetch if other
Yeah,
two
yeah.
are.
So anyway, yeah, that is
Okay.
a method to do it. But yeah, you will have to create more than one column to like manage that.
Okay, okay. Means whatever I'm saying, like it's correct way to doing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. It's
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so please try to implement your own idea. Okay, so that's a good thing. So just like he has mentioned, like we can have a boolean for status, we can have boolean for role also. And if you think having a role table uh, and user table explicitly, that is also a good idea. You can go with it. So if you want to create manager table, customer table, admin table explicitly, that is also good. Okay, so you can create all those things. So any doubts on this point? Anything? I think so. When you will be writing this, when we will be implementing this backend jobs, so where is this? Okay, so here when you will have to give a daily reminder. So here if you have the line that check if the user has not visited bought anything. So how you will check this user visited or not? For that you can have an additional column which I will say we can we can name it last seen. So just like WhatsApp, we can have last seen, and you can like write the logic based on that. Like if you have not seen the user within 12 hours or within 24 hours or within like if it's a daily reminder, then I think it will be a 24-hour. But for that, you will have to store the user login data like when the user has logged in. So uh, should we create that column? Okay, let's just create that column. So column, and we are creating the uh, we will be creating it. We will be storing it in string format. Because again, you can I think you can store it so it will be a date time. You can store it in date time format. You can import that date time from here. Okay. Then okay, for this we will have a default value. So when the user will log in, when the user will sign up for the first time, we will have that value here. So default will be date time dot date time. Okay, we can export the date time from the date time. So let's just write from date time import date time. Now this is uh, standard Python syntax. Okay, this has nothing to do with application development. So if you wonder like this only, I only have this in application development. So this is given in Flask. We are importing date time from the date time. Okay, and we will store the current time. So date time dot now, and we want it to we don't want it to nullable, so we'll have to make it nullable false. Okay, so yep, I think we have created our first table. Now I will create table in fast forward manner, because for the mad one guys, you are also clear with the how we create a table in SQL Alchemy, and for mad 2 guys, you already have the idea. So we will be just changing the field names, okay, and the table name. So I can fast forward this, right? But any doubt till now on this table thing, table fields, anything? Why we have default here? We can move it. Anything till this point? I think we have. Okay,
No.
we are at 10:30. Yeah, I will not stretch the session today. Okay. Yeah, so I think we are not going to create another table today. So if you guys have anything, any general doubt or anything, or like you have any thoughts, anything, just you can unmute and.
I think last seen what column we have created just now, it is an additional column from mat1, because there it was not
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah. Yep,
Celery and like that.
yep. So see, if you come here to this requirement, like check if the user has not visited bought anything, you can simply ignore this line, because if you want to send a daily reminder, you don't need to check if the user had logged in or not. You can send the reminder anyway. Okay, so you don't need to check if the user had logged in or not. But I am just like saving, like just adding this column for the sake of like if the user has logged in or not.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. I think
like
because
even I can like remove this I can comment this column even if we don't want that column. Okay, that's also
because
fine.
during Vivas and all, I think we need to show in within few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. So actually there we don't write that condition. Okay, but I think yeah, we will not be adding this last in column. And in the Viva, if the user if the proctor asks like why you are sending mails to all the users, so you can say like this is how you can, like if you just tell the proctor to how you can approach and implement something which is not there in the application, I think that even that is enough. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
So it
so
is not
yeah,
mentioned last scene,
yeah,
right?
it's not matter. Yeah, let's just comment this line. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Okay. That was a good question. Anything else? I
And
think I
one
can stop
simple
my.
thing like I'm not sure most of the guys are facing or not. Actually, I've tried that Postman. That whatever you have by default, no, it is not running. What is it? Is Thunder client?
Sorry. What? Thunder client. Okay. This
I think it is asking for some free version. I think it's not there in this VS Code. I
Thunder
have faced
client.
it.
Okay.
You
Then you can
have,
do
I
post.
maybe had installed the premium version. Yeah, I actually I was installing Postman, but I don't know if it's installed or
So
not.
I've
Okay, let
installed
me
Postman and
install the Postman also.
You can just install Postman and log in with any of your email ID
yes,
whenever it
I've
says.
done that thing. Some queries are different, Thunder client and Postman.
No. Everything is same. Just the look is
It
different.
will-
Okay. Actually, I've sensed some different
Just the look is different.
Yeah,
Let me try to show you
How
if
how
I
can
can
I
show
pin
that.
this in my in this left bar? Pratham, do you have any idea? Anyone have like
What's
how
that? What are you saying there?
how can I like add this here as like I have
Yeah, it is currently installing right there, so it will come here after you log in. Let it install first.
so where I will log okay on Postman.
Yeah, on Postman, first it is installing now. It is not installed yet. Once it gets installed, it will come on the left side menu bar,
Okay,
and
okay,
then it will show a button to just log in.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
So it will show a pop-up and open that and just log in. Let me show them in if
okay,
I
okay.
can.
You have to open
Okay.
it separately, I think, and just create the sign up and all.
Actually, there is a Postman application you can install in your Windows explicitly. That is also there. Well, okay, let me stop sharing. So Pratham can. So you, yeah, yep, yep, Pratham, you can go ahead.
Okay, just a minute. Let me share. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. So this is how I open Postman. Let's say I just close this here. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I have installed it. Just want to ask a
Yeah, you
query.
just install this, then
Yeah.
click on this new HTTP request,
Mhm.
and now just select whatever request you want, like get, post, put, and delete. Let's say you are saying for post, okay? Then let's say you are writing this, okay? Then you are submitting at that
Default URL,
endpoint.
what is localhost? No, like in Thunderclient, I think we can save it somewhere. But in this Postman, we are not able to save this localhost URL. And by writing in post and get directly like slash API slash something task, I think that is not feasible in Postman.
Okay, here it is also you can see the save request. You can save here,
You can save the URLs in Postman. Like I have used this Postman in my office, so we save URLs there.
and for this case, what you have to send it like you have to if you are sending by JSON format, then you can just enter the JSON format here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Pratham, you don't need to show these things. We are starting the session.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
I will be testing
Yeah,
the API, so I will show you the yeah. Don't
yeah.
overwork on these things. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No worries.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Ayush.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all for joining the session. Have a good night and just take care.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Will you tell me when close the recording if you are there? Just stop the recording.